AskReddit by Lurker. Millionaires of Reddit. How did you become so wealthy?
Knowledge.
When I was 15, I started doing a lot of random jobs in my hometown in Mexico. After a year, I accumulated about 40k and decided to start flipping tractors and agricultural equipment. I'd try and make about 5k every machine until I finally hit the 200k mark in 6 months. I wasn't doing amazing in school but was making really decent money, as you can tell. At that point, I bought a piece of land for really cheap. Story goes the owner was seriously desperate to sell the land cause his wife or kids had been kidnapped. So I basically bought this land and instantly doubled my money. I couldn't buy all the land though, as it was a $1.2 million total sale. So I begged my parents to sign so that the banks would lend me the other 800k. Once I bought the land, within the year the land was worth 2.5-ish million as the violence in the region had died down a bit. Now I was a 17, almost 18-year-old kid with a really big farm, which was bringing in about 250k in profit a year. I decided I wanted to go to college and paid my way through college and saved up as much as I could. I sold the land in Mexico at 2.4M and had about 3M in the bank. And I have now invested in more farmland and am looking into investing in an apartment complex or a startup bank. I wish I could say that I was amazing at business or some of the other cool things people have posted here, but honestly I've just been very lucky. I enlisted in the army when I was 18. I liked it. I asked to become an officer, and they let me. The army sent me to college and I graduated. My officer pay was way higher, and in the army you don't have very many bills. I found I could save in between 1k and 5k every month of my life. After my second deployment I was sitting on about 200k. I hired a financial manager. He did well a few years. I bought and rented out a couple houses. I've got 17 years in the army, creeping closer to a portfolio worth $2 million and a good pension in retirement. I'm about to make lieutenant colonel. I'm in my late 30s. Just grind and save. Started buying multifamily real estate in central Chicago in 2011. Have been selling since last year. At one point I had 15 buildings with 65 apartments in them. The few buildings I have left are worth about $2 million and I have over $1/3 in cash in my savings. Prices were so ridiculous in the recession that I was able to turn $5,000 in savings and a lot of sweat equity into what I have now. I bought my first building with an FHA loans for $130k in Logan Square. It was 3 units and I put $5,000 down. It's now worth $400k. Then has saved up the income from that property and bought a 6 unit for $50k that's now worth $350k. I then picked up another 6 flat for free because the city was going to force the bank to demolish it. Borrowed against the equity in my other properties to do a total gut rehab of it. Now the building is worth $1.10 million and generates $10,000 cash flow every month. I live frugally as well. When my old car died I bought a 2-year-old Honda with 25,000 miles on it. I still live in the first property I bought. My hobbies are ones that are only expensive if you don't have the time to take advantage of them. I buy a ski pass and ski 4 weeks a year. The pass costs $600, but I can get thousands of dollars worth of skiing out of it since my job is mainly collecting passive income. I'm only 29, so my plan is to just slowly add to my portfolio while letting the few buildings I haven't sold off burn off principal. I'm basically semi-retired and have been for 3 years. I am on track of being a millionaire by just investing in my 401k. I started my career at 20 years old right after graduating from college and started investing the minimum to my 401k. Never really thought much of it until I did those calculators and realized that since I started so young the compound interest on any investment account with a decent return would be huge. I would recommend you just put anything away. Everyone tells you to max your investments, but honestly not everyone can invest $18k a year. Do the math of how much $200 a month will grow in 30 years. This might not be the exact answer, but this will easily get you to be a millionaire at some point. Not A yet but getting there. STEM degree for both wife and I. I bag my lunch and drink from water fountain. I eat out with co-workers maybe once a month. Fill up my trusty clean canteen bottle daily with the free ice from cafeteria and water from the water fountain. In my lower 30s right now. Have a $500 K house. Bought 2 years ago. About 40% paid off. Hope to pay it off completely well before I turn 40. Currently about $350 K in bank between liquid and stocks. Currently driving a 9-year-old Scion. Wife has a 13-year-old Camry. Daughter's toys off from the thrift store. Haven't had cable TV ever. Love Costco and Walmart. Love looking at deal sites. That doesn't mean we do not enjoy life. We've been backpacking in Europe. Have visited Dubai, Bahamas, Bermuda, Puerto Rico, Vegas numerous times, Canada numerous times, going to Cali in less than a month. My philosophy is this: you get rich by acting poor in things that really don't please your heart. We like traveling, so we do that. I like photography, so I have a DSLR. Wife likes nail polish, so she has like a big box full of them. I don't care much about food, so I bag it and we rarely eat out. Same with our cars. Live simply, invest and spend wisely, love unconditionally. In my 20s, I was a computer programmer just as the web started exploding in popularity. I could wire up websites and databases back when internet technologies were new, and tooling was still primitive. I never hit it big with a viral website like Facebook or Amazon, but I did charge a lot for programming services, and I used that money to buy houses at first, and ultimately an apartment building in coastal California. In my 40s now, I don't feel very wealthy really. Oddly, I still check prices when shopping, and I plan to drive my old Jeep until it dies. When I travel, I often pay to fly first class, and I do enjoy the nicer hotels. But other than that, I live and spend rather simply. Self-made. Cracked the first $1 million just after 33 sometime. Then the next few came quickly. The best advice is to build capital early. I scrimped and saved and had my first car till I was 30 and it totally shat itself. Didn't waste money on holidays or any expenditure that wasn't 100% necessary. Holidays consisted just of time off work and going to beach or doing fun free things. So once I had a little nest egg $10K, I got a house, and every time I had a spare $50 put it against the mortgage. Then every time I got to pay rise the difference went to the mortgage, not to increase in lifestyle. I'm 45 now and saving becomes less of a priority as the base capital is there. I can spend every cent I earn and my base will still increase. Summary: get saving early. What car and what clothes you wear don't change who you are. I basically kept the same habits I had when my income was $12K a year for a family of 3. I make coffee at home. I still forage for food. I still shop at thrift shops for clothing. My car is 14 years old and I try not to use it if I can use my bicycle instead, including biking to work when I wasn't carpooling. Even when I was a single mom on $28K salary, I put what I could in my $401K, and every raise I got went to that till I at least got the full employer match. When I got a new job and found out there was no similar retirement plan there, I met with the directors and a financial advisor and got one in place. I make my own laundry detergent and use cloth wipes napkins. I spend about $20 a week for 2 adults for food. Yesterday I really wanted an orange but didn't take it from the fridge because I paid for those for my husband's packed lunches, and pears from the yard are free. Oranges travel better in his bicycle bag, so they are for him. Pears from the yard have occasional spots that need to be cut out, so they are for me because I retired last year and he has another year or 2 to go. It's easier to cut off bad spots when you are at home in your own kitchen. I am so tired of pears, though. I have $1 million but I won't eat an orange if I have a free pear. On the one hand, that's pathetic. On the other hand, that's why I have $1 million and don't have to go to work anymore. Worked hard and made saving a priority from day one. Started at saving 10% of my gross and now I'm saving 19%. Invested fairly conservatively. Never once in 30+ years have I dipped into my long-term accounts. The result? Home mortgage with about a $10k balance on it, not a single penny of consumer debt, car loan, credit card, etc. And I think it's been 20 years since I've paid a penny of consumer debt interest. Put 2 kids through 9+ years of college, nice house, frequent meaningful vacations, etc. $1.9 million in the bank. I'm 53 and could retire in the next year or 2 if I wanted. 2 inviolable rules. 1. Save 10% minimum from day 1 of your first real job and increase that each year. And 2. Never ever pull your credit card out of your pocket unless you can pay it off in full at the end of the month or it's a flat out, life-changing emergency. I don't think my family has ever sacrificed once. It's not hard. Edit. Another pro tip. Don't be a slave to your investments. I went through stretches where I was checking balances daily and stressing if they went down a bit. I eventually got in the mindset to check my balances at most once per month. Keep the investments very conservative and just let it ride. Since I've been doing that, balances continue to go up with no stress or effort on my part. My 401k and IRAs have goal year investments. I want to retire by 2025, so invest in a proper mix of risk for me type of stuff. Probably 95% of my $sign is in those types of investments, and up they go. Thanks for stopping by and watching. Hopefully you learned something today and will soon join the Millionaires Club. If you enjoyed, make sure to karate chop that like button and subscribe for more. Take a gander at these other videos below.